Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast of Marketing 101. We got awesome guests this week. You're going to be super excited for this one, so do not turn it off. We got Sam and Robert. One's a DC, one's not. They figured out some AI solutions for you, and they're from Next Level AI Solutions. So I highly recommend looking them up. Thanks for being on the show, guys. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thanks, Enrico. Appreciate Sam Hickey here, co-founder with Robert Boyston as my right-hand man. I'm the talk, he's the tech, and we look forward to answering any questions and telling you all about how Next Level came about and where we see the future in AI solutions.
Awesome. Yeah, Robert, you're a DC yourself.
Yeah, I've been out of practice. It's been a decade now. Graduated in 2006 from Life West. Got into spinal decompression almost immediately after getting out of practice. I realized I saw the writing on the wall with insurance. I was practicing in California at the time. It was terrible. So I knew that I needed a cash-based practice and invested in the DRX 9000 and had a successful decompression practice on the back of the marketing that I learned. So I bought the machine and I realized that you got to be able to market this thing to get patients in the door. And that was kind of my genesis into marketing, was just pure survival.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah, that's great. And then you guys, lifelong friends, and you got the marketing from corporate. You got you as a DC, and now you figured out some solutions that I've used myself. That's how we met. I'm like, hey, you guys got to tell me more about this AI thing. I think you're solving a problem. And we did a podcast. The leads don't suck, you suck, right? And we talked about jokingly that you got this funnel now that is the chiropractic dream. I think BJ Palmer is probably rolling in his grave being like, I wish I had this megaphone of social media to tell the world about chiropractic. And we figured this out. Then we figured out funneling, and we figured out lead captures. And now we got all this ways to capture people's attention. And chiropractors are calling me saying the leads suck. And I'm like, are you nuts? You have all this opportunity to get all these new patients. So, but we understand the problem. The problem is you're overwhelming your team with marketing. They can't keep up because they're used to the Google call, right? Hey, I'm looking for a chiropractor. Do you guys take my insurance? I mean, we've been used to that for 25 years. And now we've got this new thing saying, hey, you guys had this thing online. I'm looking to become a patient. But what is chiropractic? And your team's like, what? Why are you calling? What are we doing? And you guys have figured out a way of like taking the team out of it and saying, hey, there's this cool new thing called AI that can go in there and become that team member, literally voice, text, email, and take over that whole role for you instantaneously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could take over that role and many other roles. The goal of Next Level AI Solutions is to create digital teammates for your current staff, your current clinic, to take those mundane tasks. Like you said, if your front desk handled all those tasks perfectly, she'd probably quit in the first month. She'd just be overwhelmed, right? So we created a solution to allow a conversational AI assistant to be an ambassador of your clinic, to answer every single phone call, to be there right when the lead opt in. It could be 2:00 in the morning and a person scrolling through Facebook and they opt in right there. That lead is going to have a conversational AI assistant connecting with them right now, trying to lock in their spot. So it's no more of the alluding to like, I'm engaging with you, trying to pretend like, hey, I'm engaging you, getting you to pause so you don't go on and buy from the next person. We're actually stopping them in the tracks at the moment they're ready to talk about it, having a meaningful conversation, pre-qualifying the people as well, and booking them to the calendar, all while the staff is either helping somebody else out or during after hours while people are sleeping.
Right. Yeah. And the listeners are probably thinking, okay, what does that mean? And if you've done any type of ads or lead follow-up, then you know that you've got the ad going out there. You're either using a website landing page or an inform from Facebook. Somebody signs up, and then you know the rules. I hope it's 2025, guys. I hope you know the rules. Instantly, they should be getting a text message, like within seconds, saying, hey, thanks for signing up for a $99 offer. I'm Liz. I'll be with you shortly. Something to just engage them. And then like a minute later, they've got an email and another text, right? We've talked about this in previous podcasts, like immediate follow-up. If you let 3 minutes go, you kind of suck. If you let 5 minutes go, you're an idiot. So we know that. And that's the old school. Now we got AI where an actual Liz, we'll call him Liz, can come into the conversation, and you can add in calling, you can add in other things, but it doesn't just end at the end of your workflow. where you're like, well, we text them 3 times, we emailed them 9 times, and we tried calling from the office 6 times, and they just didn't pick up. Liz is not going to give up. Liz is going to keep going on some type of educational or intelligent sequence. And if there is a response, then Liz is giving an actual smart response back instead of a canned, like Sam always says, the canned response. We're getting out of that, right?
We're getting out of that. We're past that. She's going to engage. She's going to have contextual history of the whole conversation, the needs, anything that might be an objection. She's going to be able to answer those and address those, and confidently and qualify the lead up front before she books into your calendar.
Awesome. So how does it work? So how do we get the AI component into our follow-up? So exactly what do you guys do?
So we run off of GHL. And so it works much like all of the automations that you're very familiar with. The component is that the AI, once there is one reply, whether that's an instant text message and they reply, or it's an outbound phone call and they pick up an answer, once the user actually engages, the intelligent assistant is having that conversation to whatever goal that the clinic owner wants us to train it to. So if that's more educational platform, if that's more nurturing and reputation building, if that's just more that instant FAQ answering, we could build it however you want.
Yeah, it becomes the tone of your office, which is what I liked. I was like, it wasn't this like autoresponder that all 500 chiropractors across the US are getting through Liz. It becomes very in tune to you customize it to become very in tune to the way your tone is. You can say y'all if you're in Texas, and you can say, you all if you're in California, and you can change it the right way, right?
Absolutely. It's totally customizable. Totally customizable. We are literally taking, imagine if you could clone your best employee and then have that person work for you, represent you as an ambassador of your brand 24/7, no matter where they come in, whether it's on your social media, through your DMs, through a lead magnet, etc. They're answering instantly. And you hit on it earlier. After 5 minutes, the results are in. After 5 minutes, a clinic's chances of qualifying a lead reduced by 80%. And Robert and I knew that all too well, that he could get the leads, but if the follow-up doesn't happen within the first 5 minutes, the leads suck. Right?
Yeah.
So
the response sucks. The response sucks because they've lost the interest, right? Yeah. We can talk about the psychology maybe a little bit. Robert, you're a DC, and the psychology behind that is that it's instant gratification. We're in the Amazon times now, right? If we want something, pull up Amazon, you can order it. It can be there the same day. Some of these things can be there same day, right? So we have that instant, same thing with these ads. I mean, they may not know that they need this right now, but they obviously saw your ad and they gave you your information. I'm like, how can the leads suck if they gave you their first, last name, email, and phone number and hit submit? I mean, something's there, right? Yeah. So it's a head scratcher for a lot of chiropractors in their office setting because they're like, listen, man, you gave me your information. Why are you not picking up? Or why do you think we're annoying you? And then they get frustrated with the process. It's because many of us have never worked in corporate America like Sam and know that you actually have to be persistent to get people on the phone for things that are not basic needs, food, shelter, water, that kind of stuff, right? So from a DC's perspective, what's the psychology behind that follow-up and that 5-minute rule from your perspective, Rob?
Well, I think people overestimate just what people even commit to on a lead form. They saw an ad and they probably viewed it for like 30 seconds max, right? And they're like, oh, interested. They click the ad, they fill out a form, and for the most part, they usually go away and just keep scrolling. And then when we call them up, if we call them up 2 days later, like, I don't even remember filling that out. I was just scrolling and I just saw it. So by following up fast and reiterating like, hey, you just filled out this form. We're here. We'd love to help you out with this, with this problem. Now there's a connection between I just did this, they're contacting me, and now they know who you are. I mean, just getting that first step is key.
It's huge. See, great. Thanks for sharing that. That's exactly what's happening. People are they may have done it at 11 o'clock at night. And of course, you have no team members there at 11 o'clock to send a call out. So you got your autoresponder that says, hey, we received your form. Thanks for filling it out. We'll be with you shortly. And then you can time those things and get a little bit more intricate with that. But what AI does is it can play the game. And of course, as a chiropractor, you'd probably never want to call someone at 11:45 p.m. So you just set the parameters for Liz to make sure that at 8:15 a.m. tomorrow morning, that's when she starts calling, she starts making these calls. But AI can call how many people in the exact same moment?
Thousands.
As many as we
want.
want.
This is crazy. So for chiropractors, we'll never need that. But for some of these other things you guys help with, you can make 1,000 calls at the exact same second with all different conversations, which is,
we can literally put a campaign in for one process, one offer, have it set out to make 100 phone calls. It'll make those 100 phone calls, and it will be 100 unique phone calls.
Yeah.
It won't be exactly the same. The message will be on point, but the wording, tonality, et cetera, will be a little bit uniquely different. So again, this is, it all is geared to mimic your brand, your voice, your culture, out to your audience.
Yeah. So if you're one of those chiropractors that has been struggling with that, and you're like, I got to find a solution to it, because I found the good business owners, we'll call them business owners, not chiropractors, that run their clinics, they understand marketing, and they actually market, because the lousy ones don't market. They're on the old school referral program, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying the good ones grow, they expand, they open up satellite locations, they hire other associates. I mean, that's a business owner. That's what I think a business owner is. And they've got the marketing down, and they want to market, and they're looking out for Roberts and Sam's and Enrico's to help them grow their marketing, because they know they are not the experts in this field. They're listening to this podcast saying, okay, hang on a second, you got my interest. What does this do? And I know every single one of them is like, we got it. This is a no-brainer. We got to do it. This is the future, and I want the future now. So for those of you that are excited, I'm proud of you. Good job. Keep listening. AI has got to come into your game. And this is, I think you guys have cracked it, especially even though you started with organic roots in chiropractic, they are doing this for all types of industries. So that's cool. Tell us more about how it looks once it's integrated, what a chiropractor can expect for things to happen. What ends up happening with conversions? What have you seen through your clients so far that has changed their practice?
Instant engagement definitely helps with any of the conversion rates, whether it's the show rate, all the way through to the paid client rate, right? So with our clients, we're seeing a tremendous amount of actual connectivity. I mean, we're looking, it's not far-fetched for us to have 98% connectivity from the leads that come in. We're actually able to get a message to them. And we're also noticing that our AI engagement conversion is much higher. Simply from, like, you can have 500 leads, but how many did you actually get in contact with? We're seeing that we're getting in contact with on a daily basis, almost 90% of those. So we just have more pool to pull from, a larger pool to pull from rather, and have those conversations.
I noticed that with the campaign you ran for me, the engagement, like our flows barely get a text response back. So I started putting in text auto can response of saying, hey, thanks for signing up. Is this a good number to contact you at? Yes/no. And still nothing. I was just trying to elicit a reply. Yeah. Right, a reply, something to engage them into a different workflow. And that was pulling teeth, right? So even that, but as soon as you brought AI into this, it was just more educational. So if they did reply, it wasn't just a yes, it was a yes with a follow-up. Now we're into a conversation, and this is where I think AI blossoms and takes it into a real conversation, which is super cool, which your team can never do. Will never be, you didn't hire them to do that. And even if you did, they won't be as good as Liz. So we're just being honest here. So that's the cool part about that. So that's the success stories there. What are some numbers that you're noticing for people that were doing ads and then brought you guys into the equation? What did they notice right away? Was it a 20% success rate before converting leads, and then now it went up to what with AI?
We were seeing low 20s on a few of them, and 22 to 28. And we've actually seen those ones go up to 59 and 64 respectively. So, I mean, that's what it is. It's that first 5 minutes. And it's just not, again, the pause. It's the actual engagement, the pre-qualifying, making the connection, right? And that's where we're seeing those numbers jump. But typically you can see, rough estimate, about 30% increase in actual conversions from having engagements. Remind you, those 500 leads, not all of them are good, right? And to disqualify them takes time and effort as well. Liz handles that beautifully. That's a good feedback we get from a lot of our clinic owners who are concerned about, having egg on their face. Sometimes you have to give hard messages, and Liz could even handle those with grace.
Yes. And I always do the social media versus Google lead. It's two different beasts. We've got the one that's scrolling their phone, didn't know, that they needed anything and signed up for it, versus the person who's searching for you, actively looking for your service. Those are two different beasts, and you should have two different follow-ups with that. That's a very different process as well. And guess what? AI can help you with both. Very cool things. Where do you see this going? I'm excited about the future. Where do you see 2025 and into 2026 with this stuff? Where are we going with this?
Well, that's the biggest question for everybody regarding AI. Our particular field of AI, where we take digital communications and we automate those with conversational AI assistants, this is the future is this. It's just there. It's 24/7. It's always on point. It represents your business, and it handles the mundane stuff that you're not paying somebody over minimum wage to handle that stuff. You're paying them high value for their high value. And that's the more, so we're allowing people to repurpose more and more of their staff's time for better purposes. So I see our conversational AI assistants not replacing people, but really in the coming future, assisting people, amplifying them, and empowering them to do their job better.
Love it.
One thing I want to point out that is the timing is also very important. If you can imagine just having 10 open loop text message conversations with people, like meaning that I've texted all 10 of them and they could be replying to me at any time, and then being able to like get to that every one of those replies as they come in. That's what Liz does. It like gives them that instant feedback. They send a reply in and she's replying right back. It's like, oh, they're here attentive to me. And those conversations start rolling because they don't stall out, versus like they texted me on they picked up their phone at lunch, right? Like, I have time to read this now. And I reply, and then they don't get a reply back for a couple hours, when the staff picks up that phone and replies to them. Well, it may be tonight before they can bounce back the next message. But when that window opens and they're ready to converse, it goes real fast.
Yeah. Great point.
So she's ready to engage, connect, and convert 24/7. But then on the backside of that, her forever follow-up is a game changer. Robert and his workflows automations, paired with the intelligence of the AI and the contextual history of the conversation, whether that lead nurture is first time, yes, let me buy, or a year later, it's a longer sequence. The forever workflow follow-up is just dynamite for making sure you capture the leads from March and February and January that your staff is, let's face it, no longer going after.
Yeah.
We actually have an AI layer on top of our AI layer of Liz. So we have AI layer analyzing what she's doing and making some of the decisions on the background as far as like, hey, Liz, you need to follow up with this person. Hey, you need to do this. This conversation context is this. So we're really trying to dial it in so that it can take it all the way from lead, and no matter what the scenario where it goes, it could either disqualify them and let you guys know that, hey, this was not a good lead, or just get them booked without staff intervention. And then once they get booked, I mean, that's where your staff shines, or that's where the doctor shines. That's where that's where you put on the front stage show for them and show them what the clinic has to offer, or the business has to offer, whatever the service is that you're promoting.
Yeah. So now that the lead that came in on 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and then the staff will come in on Monday morning with a follow-up, right? That lead has already been talked to, answered all the questions, possibly booked for an appointment for Monday morning instead.
Oh, we see that a lot. We see a lot of Monday morning, 9, 10 a.m. appointments that doctors come to the clinic seeing on their calendar, and that patient's just showing up right behind them, showing up at the office, and the lead came in over the weekend. I mean, they would have got zero contact prior to that.
Yeah.
Other than the initial autoresponder.
There you go. And that's how this automation is supposed to work. I think that's what the intent of automation and workflows was supposed to be in the first place, but canned responses can only go so far. You can only predict the most common responses. And one thing that happened with your workflow for me was like somebody said, something, I have neuropathy pain. And Liz, that cued a whole different conversation for her. She's like, we know neuropathy sucks. It can be very painful. Sorry to hear you have that. these are some options you can do. Would you like to further discuss this? And I was like, man, that's a better response than anyone on my team could have done. And that was just one example of like at the right time, a quick response to the text within seconds. So this stuff is, I'm excited. That's why I asked you that question. What do you see in the future? I'm just excited. I mean, this is only going to get better, I think, is the scary part. It's going to be so real. We won't know if Liz is actually a human being or not, but that's pretty cool from the business side. That's what we want for customer service, right? So we want that.
On text message, it is quite hard to know if she's not.
Yeah. Right. It is. It truly is. I'm
not,
impressed.
It's not impossible. You know what I mean? Because I mean, her language pattern is awesome.
Yeah. So if we got you guys excited, I mean, Sam and Robert gave me the clear for this, that, you know, because I use this, I'm doing this for all of you. So if you're working with the digital coach, we can integrate this right into your workflows immediately starting tomorrow. And we're ready to rock and roll with all that. So that's how Next Level AI Solutions is working with the digital coach. I am not that smart. I did not do all this. That's why I wanted them on the podcast, so they get all the credit for this. But we use them. I highly suggest you use them. Delegation is key when you're the CEO of a good business. I'm going to start saying a good business instead of just the CEO of a business. Delegation is absolutely key, and knowing when to delegate is really important. And this is one of those things I'm like, man, no one else could do this better and more timely than AI. And these guys have got it figured out. So thanks for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, reach out. And if you want specific questions answered, please do not call me. Reach out to these guys because I don't have the answer for you. If you're techie, talk to Robert. If you're, logistics, talk to Sam. And then if you just have like marketing questions, like, is AI going to get me more new patients? Call me. I will say yes, and we'll onboard you and we'll get you going.
I'll tell you what, Enrico, I know our website will be in the description. To all listeners, go ahead and just do yourself a favor. Click on our website. There'll be a floating orb right there on your browser. You can simply click that and you could dive into a conversation with Liz, our conversational AI assistant. She is going to ask you about yourself, what you do, how you do it, and then she's going to explain how she could be your best digital teammate. So if you're interested beyond that, you can go ahead and book a discovery call with Robert and myself and Enrico, and we could dive into the specifics for your clinic.
Cool. What's the website, Sam? Say it out loud because I use AI to do the podcasts.
It's mynextlevel.ai. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take everybody to their next level. So mynextlevel.ai, go on over there and click the orb and have a conversation with the best damn conversational AI assistant on the market.
It's pretty cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for doing this. I mean, you're keeping me relevant with the whole AI thing, which is awesome because it's part of the game. We gotta embrace it. We gotta use it. You're going to be left in the dust. I was saying this like end of 2023 for a lot of people. I'm like, you got to stay up because your businesses just won't operate. People are going to become so comfortable with this that if your clinic doesn't do it, it's like the businesses that don't have websites, like those cafes and restaurants. And people are like, are you guys legit? Or no Google listing, right? And they're like, oh, this is shady. You're going to be that. You're going to be the one that's like, well, do they have a chat responder? Like, I have a couple questions. I don't want to bother their team. Yeah. Literally, Gen Z is like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to just, do you have the answers in a fact sheet? And yes, we do. Her name's Liz. She'll answer all your questions for you. And you got to be part of that. I think you really do.
Absolutely. The future is here.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Enrico.
Yeah. See ya.